before the thousands of people that were cheering us on to play soccer, there was nobody cheering you on except your family, your brothers.
When you come out of that tunnel, you gotta have tunnel vision. You have to zone everybody out.
Being a retired professional athlete, once you're done with playing, you get bored and you try to think of ways you could give back.
Imagine if you didn't have that sit down with your kid for 2 hours and have that conversation.
Yeah, he would have, I don't want to imagine because it's pretty painful. We have 26,000 Armenian kids playing soccer.
You see? And not one of them has potential?
No, many of them have potential.
So
many of them.
So then what's wrong with that system?
Yeah, you don't want to push them to the breaking point because with school and extracurricular activities, it takes a toll on them.
It's interesting because my son doesn't watch soccer.
At all?
He watches the highlights.
No way.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he watch the full games?
I'm sorry to tell you, they don't care whether you're emotionally there or not.
Oh, yeah.
So 100%. Nobody stop. This is not about your emotions.
By the way, that's his actual MLS championship ring.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna take you on that offer by the end of the evening.
I'm gonna bring it back tomorrow to my office.
He's gonna come back with one of those 25-cent candy.
I'll take it to downtown, have them clone it, and I'll give you the other one.
There's a lot of public stuff about us, but there's a lot of stuff that nobody knows.
Happy Monday, everybody.
TGM.
TGIM. We're 8 minutes late, but it's okay. We're Armenian.
Hey, Armenian time.
Yeah. So it's always an excuse for us, the Armenian thing. But we have the pleasure of hosting somebody we haven't seen we've seen, but we haven't sat down with in over 6 years now, man. Mr. Yura Movsisyan.
What's up, guys?
How you doing, buddy?
Amazing.
It's been a while.
I know it's been.
I mean, you left one. You left one of our episodes with a banger, man. For those of you that haven't watched it, go back and watch episode 40. It was one hell of an episode we had with you. And
why? What happened?
Nothing. It was just an amazing episode.
Well, we had 4 hosts, no?
We had nuts? 4. Yeah, we had 4. It was 4 guys, 5 nuts.
You mean 7 nuts?
Or 7 nuts. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, 7 nuts. 2, 4, 6.
5 nuts means only one of them is normal.
One of them is defected.
Only one is normal. The 3 are defected.
Basically. Or one of them just doesn't have any. Completely castrated. But anyways, when you were on with us, oh my God,
somebody
man.
Quit, didn't it?
Well, somebody quit. And then another guy abruptly quit. One guy abruptly quit. One guy quit to go to Armenia, but on good terms.
Yeah.
Ed is in Armenia. He's been there for almost 2 years.
Wow.
And now, he's going to be coming back to America. And
back to America.
Yeah, like Eddie Murphy. And we're very excited to have him on because it's going to be a very interesting story behind the journey he went through as far as taking his wife and 2 children back home to Armenia to be a permanent resident.
Wow. I mean, when you say 2 children, did he leave any children here or did he took
That's
home?
exactly.
No.
That's what I
said.
Yes. That's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like trying to figure out.
You only took the 2.
Well, I mean, how else would you word it though?
He took his children. Wife and children.
Well, I mean, the fact. Okay, well, I was trying
to took both kids.
Well, then if I said he took his wife and kids, then you'd be like, how many kids? I'd be like 2 kids.
Okay. Yeah,
but he took his 2. How did you say it? He took
his wife
kids?
and 2 children. And 2 children.
2 children.
Yeah.
2 out of what?
That's when you put words in my mouth now.
Well,
but I mean, you grew up in Armenia, obviously.
Yeah. For a short period.
For a very short period of time. Shout out to all the Gyumri's.
Yes.
Or Lenagansis. And you have a book that's coming out. And it's a series of 5 books, right?
Yeah.
So this one is Dust and Dreams. This is the first series, and it's about your life in Gyumri in Armenia.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate a little bit about the book? And obviously, if you guys are watching, there is a link down below. If you're watching the video portion of this, there is a link down below. If you're interested in the book, click on it. It'll take you to Yura's website or Amazon. You could purchase it there and support.
I'll put the site up in a minute.
Oh, perfect. And you could support Yura. But tell us a little about the book.
Yeah. So being a retired professional athlete, once you're done with playing, you get bored and you try to think of ways you could give back. And for me, writing a book, the idea came with a very close friend of mine who's a co-author of my book, Razmik Arabian, who's an amazing writer. And I'll tell you guys this, for 2 years we work in the same office, and for 2 years he's been asking me, Yura, let's write the book, tell me and I'll help you write the book. So one day after just 2 years, I came to Razmik. I said, Razmik, I have a great idea. And he was surprised, like, what happened? I said, hey, I want to write the book.
You should have said, I want to write a book.
You should have seen. But yeah, he helped me write this book. Playground Battles. Why a book and why, I want to tell my story. So everybody, all of you guys, everybody knows Yura Movsisyan, scoring goals, winning MLS Cup, the national team, right? But nobody really knows how I got here. There's a lot of public stuff about us, but there's a lot of stuff that nobody knows, and I always say before the thousands of people that were cheering us on to play soccer, there was nobody cheering you on except your family, your brothers. So this was a story. This is a story. This is my story. My family's, my brothers, the in Gyumri, being raised in Gyumri, all the literally playground battles, the fights we had and the games we had, what really, gave me the opportunity to love the game of soccer, the street soccer. So why 5 books? It's 5 different stages of my life. First it's in Gyumri, and then it's going to be in Europe, and then America, going back to Armenia, national team, and then retirement. So once we're done with the 5 books, I want to turn this into a cartoon. I want this to, we grew up watching a lot of cartoon soccer, like, I forgot the name, but for me, I think it's very important to connect with the youth, to connect with kids that are dreaming to achieve something in their lives. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be soccer. I don't care. This book is not for just soccer players. And it's interesting because anybody that reads this book, anybody that literally my age, older, everybody will find their stories in this book, because we've all sort of had similar stories back in our days. The fights and the, trouble we've made. So all of those stories are in here, and it's 14 chapters, 14 being the key number. And it's an interesting.
14 being the what number?
14 being an interesting number. Have you watched soccer? My number.
Oh,
he's number 14.
I thought you were number 10.
That was a different club. That was PCC. At
PCC
college.
you were 10.
Yeah, and I was a number 10 for Spartak.
Well,
that's what I was about to say. I remember you, PCC, I don't remember, obviously, but at Spartak, I remember you were number 10.
Yeah.
And then Real Salt Lake were 14.
14. 14 was always my favorite number.
I mean, you laugh, but I have the jersey you signed.
Spartak.
No, the jersey you signed, 6 years ago when you came on?
14.
It's in my kid's bedroom. It's on the wall. I asked my wife to send me.
Is it number 10?
I don't remember the number. I asked her to send me a picture of the.
Yeah, the jersey.
It's on the wall because I sent a picture of the ring, and my son's like, "Oh yeah, we have his jersey in our
You still
bedroom."
want to wear it?
Actually, it was my friend's wedding 2 weeks ago. I should have.
By the way, gentlemen, we have your QR code is up top as well if it's
Perfect.
scanned.
I love it.
So all they have to do is scan, and they'll go to the website.
Yeah. And this is an autobiography, right?
it's not an autobiography, but it literally is. I would say 99% of the stories is true in the book. We just made it easier for kids to read. You know, we made it easy for kids to understand the language in the book.
So that means I can read it too.
I'll read it to you. I'll
believe
come over
me,
and read it to you every night.
I made
We'll
sure.
read a chapter a day. 14 days we'll be done.
I made sure that I could read.
Because look, I have the attention span of a hummingbird when I read. So like even a text message, I have to read it 14 times too.
He reads the he has a little bit.
And I have a little lisp when I say tahad.
But it's interesting. What made you want to write the book though? Because writing a book obviously takes a lot of effort, obviously a lot of passion, and you have to have a story behind it. But we know you mentioned that it's five different books, 5 pieces of your life. The story aspect, we understand that you do have a story to tell. But what was the main purpose? Was it to inspire kids really to?
Yes, it's the only reason why, you know, I wrote the book, we wrote the book, was to inspire the next generation of kids. To inspire kids that it's okay, it's going to be difficult. No matter what you do in this life, it's going to be difficult. So for me, going back to, you know, what I want to do, or I would say my mission in life, you know, early on before I retired, you know, I literally thought that my whole mission on earth was to become Yura Movsisyan, the soccer player, right? But now I understand, with everything that happened in my life, my true mission in life has started now, after retirement, to help the next generation of kids, to help people that go through difficult times, whether it's addiction, whether it's, you know, all these different types of things that I went through it myself as a soccer player. And so right now, for me, it's very important to tell my story, that it was difficult. It was literally, you know, me against the world. Especially this, we're talking about early 2000s when I came to America. You know, we came in 2000, and soccer didn't exist here in reality.
Oh no, it didn't. It was still a somewhat of a up and coming sport.
It was, and you know, when I got drafted in 2006, there was only Aleko Skandarian, my good friend, who was in MLS.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then previously, for a short period, we also had another Armenian playing in MLS, but a very short period. So, but ever since 2006, ever since I got into MLS, right? This year is the first year we've had another Armenian go into the MLS, apart from Arthur Agasyan, who also played in MLS for, you know, short time.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody really went in and became somebody in MLS. You know,
made a name for themselves.
Made a name for themselves, you know. So for me, being an Armenian, being in LA, you know, having the resources we have of kids, you know, and all these years not having another one like myself is actually, for me, it's pretty sad.
Yeah.
So now what I want to do is, you know, tell my story of how difficult it was, and also help people, whether it's, you know, players, parents, coaches, to really, you know, help our next generation, you know, get them to a level that I was at. And I know how amazing it is to be there.
Yeah. I mean, social media, we've talked about it always being somewhat of a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
It's like you don't know which side to kind of fall on. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? But you obviously played soccer at a point of time where social media wasn't that big.
No.
And now that tool is somewhat available to people, you can make a very large impact on kids' lives, because now you can put video out there. You can stream old games. kids can go back and watch videos, and obviously you can make a presence in kids' lives through your social media by talking to them directly.
Yeah, and that's what we do. That's what I do. I get a lot of people, contacting me on social media, wanting to ask questions. I have my mentorship program that I work with kids as well.
Is it a soccer mentorship program, or it's more of like a, okay.
It is. The soccer one is separate. A lot of parents, they reach out to me and, ask opinions. And we had an event recently. It's called PYFA, where we collect all Armenian kids, certain age, and we select, the best ones, and we send them to Armenia to the national team. And during the banquet hall event, meeting, I was telling parents to please ask for help. If you're a soccer loving parent, if your son plays soccer, you guys know how us Armenians were like, oh, amota, like ego plays a big role here. And that's the one thing I was talking about is, listen, guys, in order for you to get the best, give your child the best opportunity, you need to ask people like myself, people that have been there, done that, gone through the process.
Of course.
And now I'm a parent of 3 kids, 3 different sports. My son plays soccer. He's 16 years old. And then my daughters are, volleyball and gymnastics. So we need to, help each other, the parents, the coaches, to give the kids the best opportunity possible.
Yeah.
Give them the maximum amount of knowledge for us or the Armenian community to make something of them. The kids, because for the last 20 years, no other Armenian kid has come out of this community.
But why is that? Because today, more than ever, there's dozens and dozens of soccer clubs.
We have 26,000 Armenian kids playing soccer in
You see? And
LA.
not one of them has potential?
No, many of them have potential.
So
many of them.
So then what's wrong with that system? How is it that nobody's been able to get into the MLS?
I think, one of the biggest problems has been that a lot of parents, what we see a lot, what I've seen a lot in the last, I would say 6-7 years of just watching different club teams, is that a lot of parents, they form groups of kids and they move per group. There's a team that, let's say 4 kids are friends and their parents are friends.
Yeah.
If one of them doesn't play, they take all 4 kids and move to another team.
I've noticed that, yes.
And a lot of kids, I always say, man, your kid is supposed to have a good coach. It's supposed to have a terrible coach. It's supposed to have a coach that likes him. And it's supposed to have a coach that really does not like your kid. On a soccer team, in order for your child to develop different aspects of their brains, different aspects of their personality, they're supposed to have terrible coaches that don't like him.
But at what age are you talking about? Like
I'm
what
talking
age
about
group?
This is at all different ages. We have to understand at different ages, the kid is supposed to see adversity. Up until 10 years old, I would say that the kids just have to have fun.
Right.
They just have to enjoy. What we do in our community, what we do a lot is up until 10 years old, we put so much pressure on our kids that after 10 years old, they start really not wanting to play anymore because it's not fun anymore. It's a job for them. And it's not supposed to be a job for kids. It's supposed to be, I always say soccer is a game. This is a game. Let's not forget this is a game. The child is supposed to, have fun. A lot of conversations when I have with parents, right? And they talk about their child, let's say they're not doing well or they're not playing, or some kids that are playing a lot with a lot of pressure. I tell them when they come to me, they're like, oh, what can we do to help my child get better? And I tell them, listen, just pay attention. Is your child enjoying it or not? I'm talking about up until 10 years old. Okay. Until there, are they enjoying it or not? Because I could tell you, At 8 years old, my son quit soccer.
At 8.
At 8 for a year and a half. And him, my son being my son, I never pushed him to play soccer. But he was 8 years old, and I took him to practice, and he wasn't enjoying it. Really, like he was, very moody going to practice. And then, I took him to the park the next day, and I realized something was wrong with him. He wasn't enjoying it. And so I sat down with him for about 2 hours. I dug into his mind. I started asking him a question. And I was never a person that was telling him to, you have to play soccer. You don't have to play soccer, So after talking to him for about 2 hours, trying to find out the root cause, he said, Papa, I'm playing soccer not to disappoint you.
Oh, geez, man.
You understand? Yeah. And I'm me being a parent that never forces their kids to do any of it. So I took him out for about a year and a half. After a year and a half, he begged me to go back to soccer. So everything I talk about for a child's development in their soccer, I've experienced that in the worst way possible. And my son, just because he was my son, he felt the pressure of being my son. So he had to practice because he was my son.
Imagine what was going through an 8-year-old's brain, thinking that I don't want to disappoint dad.
Exactly.
But at the same time, I'm so glad you had that conversation with him, because there's a lot of parents out there, and we say it all the time, especially to the dads. Have these conversations with your kids. Ask them these questions. Do you want to do this? Do you not want to do this? Are you having fun? Are you not having fun? Imagine if you didn't have that sit down with your kid for 2 hours and have that conversation.
Yeah, he would have. I don't want to imagine, because it's pretty painful, just so, I'm honest, because I see today a lot of that happening. I see kids that, they call me, they want to talk to me, the parents, and the child is 12, 13, 14 years old, and they're not enjoying it. And I'm telling them that, and I, without even knowing their child, I tell them that this is probably what happened. This is what you guys were doing. You guys are forcing him to play. You guys were, overloading him in practices. Oh, keep our kids busy, right? 5 days a week. The child is not supposed to train 5 days a week. You understand? A child is not supposed to train 5 days a week. The child is supposed to, maximum 4 days. But at the same time, you have to make him want to go to practice. He has to miss it somehow. You have to, a parent's job a lot of times is to push their kids, right?
Yeah.
But it's, in other times is to hold them back.
Yeah, you don't want to push them to the breaking point, because with school and extracurricular activities, it takes a toll on them.
Yeah.
And one of the things that you don't want is for them to fall behind on schoolwork as well. Son of a...
What the hell was that, bro?
You okay?
Yeah, man. Oh, Movsisian law. We should call Alex.
If you've been injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or work injury, reach out to Movsisian Law today.
At Movsisian Law, we maximize your compensation, you get constant client communication, and we win when it matters most.
When you're involved in an accident, choosing the right attorney is the most important decision you can make. Let us show you why we're different at Movsisian Law. With 11 attorneys on our team, we're able to go to trial and fight for your case. More important, the pedigree of our firm is customer service, so you always get a call, you always get an update. Lastly, we're results driven. We win. Let us show you how. Call us at 818-530-1300 or bestcaraccidentattorney.com.
If you've been injured in a car accident, trip and fall, nerve, muscle, joint, any sort of pain at all, hit up Dr. Rafi. He'll take care of everything from A to Z. What's the number at?
818-407-0007.
And tell him the WiseNuts sent you.
See, I could tell you, all my 3 kids are homeschooled.
Wow, really?
Yeah, because they're all homeschooled, but they do a lot more schoolwork than when they were in school.
Interesting.
Nowadays homeschool is crazy amount. They have to literally be sitting down and doing homework for 4 or 5 hours a day.
Interesting.
But for me, me and my wife, we're very We want to give them the best opportunity to achieve whatever they want to achieve. And my son has made his decision. He wants to be a soccer player. So he trains every day. He's 16 years old. So, he needs to be training almost every day at 16. My daughter, my oldest one, is a volleyball player, Ida. She's 14 and she trains almost every single day too. And my youngest one, Rita, she's 10 years old and she's a very good gymnast. And they train almost every single day.
Is it rhythmic gymnastics?
Rhythmic,
okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
So let's say, for example, I see, and I think you and I have this discussion about I don't know when it was, about a year ago. We were talking on the phone and I asked you about, just kids in general, but then specific to my kids playing soccer. For instance, you take them, they're 7, 8 years old, 6 years old, right? It's a team of 8, 10, 12 players. And you notice, for example, one kid has that speed, that agility, right? The it factor, right?
Yes.
And then the other 7 don't. Maybe there's one that's kind of getting there slowly. And
made us want to go to the bathroom there.
Sorry, I wasn't peeing, by the way, for those of you listening in.
So, you think about it, you're like, because kids develop differently, right? For example, a 5-year-old can play soccer for 5 years, up to the age of 10, and say, learn, X amount. And then some kid could start at 10, and by 10 and a half, will have learned 5 times more than that kid who's been playing since 5. Because at 10, you develop differently. The information you retain and how, right? So I think there's a lot of questions, because I'll even see parents, some parents who are the sideline coaches that are yelling and getting involved, and then they're coming like, I don't know, man, my 6-year-old doesn't seem to be really performing.
You got to tell him to shut up and sit down.
I'm like, bro, he's 6 years old. Like, this isn't play.
This is my battle every single day.
You played on PlayStation, FIFA doesn't mean you know how to play soccer. Like, relax.
Exactly.
But look, I have that challenge sometimes myself too, because you obviously want your kid to excel, right? I have 2 boys, as you know, and I want them to excel. They do play soccer, they do basketball, jiu-jitsu. I want them to excel for their own benefit. But sometimes you see other kids that are really excelling, and
more
you're
advanced.
like, am I doing something wrong?
No,
are we not spending enough time, private lessons, or training at home? How do you parents
see?
What's your suggestion?
The biggest mistake parents make is compare their child to another child. That's a very big mistake, especially in our community. We want our child to be like Yura, like Henrik, Mkhitaryan. We're always comparing our children to somebody.
Yeah.
Every child has their own path. Every child story is unique, meaning they're going to create their own path. A lot of my relatives, a lot of big mistakes they've made, my relatives, it was forcing their children while they were young to do what Yura did to get to the next level. Wake up. They used to wake their kids up at 6 o'clock to make them run.
Oh, jeez.
And the kids retired, quit after a couple times. So I think a lot of the biggest mistakes we make is comparing our children to different children. For me, child's development is in 3 stages. It's 6, 12, 18. So for me, up to 12 years old, you have to let the child enjoy it. There's a lot of different stuff you can, teach the child up to 12 years old. I'm talking about sports, soccer specific. Yeah. But after 12 years old is when you can start putting more pressure on them. For instance, believe it or not, my child, he's 16. He matured a year ago. He started to mature a year ago. Up until then, he was just having fun. And since me being the parent, I am not putting the pressure on him, not putting the world's expectations on him as a soccer player. Nowadays I realize that now he's starting to get serious about it. It's not too late for me. So, and I tell him it's after 14, in my own child's case, after 14 is when I started putting a lot more pressure on him, a lot more responsibility, a lot more, expectations, because they're getting to a age where now they have to be responsible. Now, when he says something, he has to do it. Now there's rules. Now there's literally, and I tell him, you have to want to. If you want to be a soccer player, these are things you need to do. How you get them, how you get them accomplished, that's on you. But if you don't do A, B, C, and D, you're not going to achieve it. So now I'm starting to see with my own child that, he's starting to do those things.
How he's developed throughout the years.
Yeah.
Because, you're looking at an 8-year-old who quit for a year and a half, you said, right?
Yes.
And then came back. Now fast forward 6 years.
Yeah.
He's taking it to another level. He's becoming much more serious.
To me, the critical time where you could see if the child is going to make it or not is between 13 to 16, 17.
Yeah.
That's a critical time.
And what are you looking for at those 3 years?
Heart.
Heart, huh?
Yeah. Literally.
It's not the skill. It's not the it factor.
Skill, you can work on it. Speed, you can work on. It's the heart. Whether you want to give everything up for a specific purpose, which is soccer, and I've tested him a lot, and now I realize it's interesting. And at the same time, something for me new as well as a parent is that all the ways I thought that's how you're supposed to develop, it comes very easy for my own child. He's technical. He's way more technical than I was at his age. He's a lot stronger, faster than I was at his age. He's 16. He's already passed me. He's 6'2" already. So as a soccer player, he's got every single,
physical aspect.
Attribute. Now it's about the mental. Now it's about whether you want it more than the kid next to you.
Yeah. You see this. Well, I see this when I go watch my brother's kid play. He's 8 years old. He plays 7, 8, 9-year-old kids. And some of the kids on the team, you see it, they get very emotional.
Yeah.
And then there's some of the kids on the field that
don't care.
They're there to be there.
Yes.
And you can't blame the kid either, because for him, it's kind of like, you know what? Mom and dad signed me up. I'm just showing up to be here.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I feel bad for the kids that do have that heart that you're talking about. And you see it at that young age, at that 7, 8, 9 years old, you see it on the field. But what do you say to a parent where their kid is struggling on the field? It's clearly obvious.
Yeah.
And
take him and put him in a different sport for a while.
Do you say that to the parent, though?
I do. And I tell him, listen, a lot of what I see...
That's a difficult conversation to have.
For me, there's been many, many cases, and I'm not going to, bring up names, where I've literally told the parent, listen, your son is not going to play soccer. He's not going to become a soccer player. The kid that just doesn't want to, he does it because you're forcing him to be. He does it because it's your dream, not his dream. Because when I have a conversation with the kid one-on-one, you could tell the kid just has to play soccer.
So who do you think is responsible for that? Parent or okay? What about the coach?
The coach is there to make money.
No, man.
Yeah, I mean the coach. In my
that's a disservice to the child.
No, in my experience, you can't put that you can never put that responsibility on a coach. And when I say, yeah, it might be a little, rough when I say they're there to make money. Everybody needs to make money. And that's not what I meant by it. What I meant by it is the coach is there trying to help the kid. The coach is there to, try to teach him as much as possible.
But there's so much you can teach.
There's so much you could teach. But, why do I say it's the parents' responsibility? It's the parents' responsibility to understand, okay, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, your son is not developing in the way, other kids his age are developing. For you, it's very important for you to take that, to have a conversation like we talked about, right?
Mm-hmm.
From early on, to have a conversation with the kid. And for us to understand also, a lot of parents really, when they think about their child in soccer specific, they think, their mindset from the very young age, right, is, oh, I want my child to become a professional soccer player. Why? Let the child enjoy playing soccer. There's 0.01% of kids that make it professional. So I don't want parents to put that pressure on their kids of, you have to make it as a pro, because I want them to take their children to enjoy the game, to let the professionals, teach their children. And when you realize, okay, he's playing on a team, I always say, you can take your child to a different team whenever your child is the best player on the team. And when you realize he's already achieved everything with that team, that's when you're supposed to take your child and put him on a stronger team.
Yeah.
Now, when your child is not playing on a team, you take him to another team, just like yours, the same club or same level of team. The child is not going to play there either. So for you, it's, for a parent, obviously it's a very difficult decision. It's very difficult to understand and to notice that. So that's why it's very, child's development. We need to understand that first and foremost, we need to prioritize the child's well-being, the development of the child, to, play a sport, because through sport, they'll be able to learn discipline. They'll be able to, learn. Let me put it this way. Everything I learned in my life as a young man, I learned it through my teammates, through my coaches. Not that my parents taught me a lot of stuff. But for me, being in that team environment, that's where you learn to respect each other. That's where you learn how to be a friend. That's where you learn so many things of life aspects.
Oh, yeah. Team building,
working hard, and so I think it's very important for the kid to be in a sport. Doesn't matter if it's soccer, basketball, baseball, because that will teach the kids. So, and it also teaches the kids, competition.
Yeah.
Competition is amazing.
If you look at, majority of the most successful people out there, that run top, Fortune 500 companies and all different levels of success, majority of them were in competitive sports. Yeah. That's what teaches you how to win, how to overcome the losses, right? Which is what you need in life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's team building, it's respect, it's helping you kind of work in different groups and different environments, helps with relationship building as far as meeting new people, networking, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because when you go from team to team, or you go from league to league and you're meeting new people, new coaches, that helps with the kid's confidence as well.
It does.
Massively. And again, not only soccer, basketball, baseball, any sort of sport. We're big advocates for team sports as well.
Yeah.
Massive advocates for it. But going back to the concept of the children that are there that are struggling, right?
Yeah.
Because look, this is a conversation that's very difficult to have. And a lot of people kind of shy away from it because they believe that whatever they're doing for their child is the right thing. Now, there are parents who are ego-driven.
99% of
absolutely. And they're very firm believers that, you know what? No, they'll grow into it. But at the end of the day, as your child is growing, they're not progressing. They're actually causing more harm to the team than they are benefiting. Should other parents step in and have a conversation with that specific parent, or maybe talk to the coach, have the coach approach it? What do you do in those cases? Because that's the difficult one to deal with.
No parent should talk to another parent to tell them how terrible
your kid has no potential, bro.
Well,
Take him to ping pong.
Not to tell them, listen, your kid sucks, but it's like, hey, listen, are you seeing what's happening on the field?
No, like
Even then,
I don't know, man.
I know where you're getting.
That's a decision, for example, I recently had to make, like literally this past weekend, this week, because
did they take you off the team?
yeah, I'm the ball boy now.
He's the goal.
It's, for example, my older son, who's almost 8. He's been playing soccer for about almost 2 years. And I understand sports. Back in my days, I played a lot of sports, not at at your level, obviously, but I've played many different sports. So I could see even the way a kid just walks, or if I throw him a basketball, the way they grab a basketball, you could tell the kid either has that it factor or not.
Yeah.
But for instance, I noticed in my older son, Noah, he wasn't really developing in soccer that much. He was enjoying it, but not developing. His soccer IQ was not very high. But so I said, okay, he really, really likes basketball. So I said, okay, fine. Let's, if you want to try basketball, let's try basketball. And the moment I just recently put him in basketball,
changed completely.
His basketball IQ is tremendous. He knows exactly where to be at any given point. He knows the positions. He knows how to. In soccer, as many times as I would spend time, I'm like, listen, I would record him, put it on the TV. Like, listen, you're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to be there. See, the ball's going to go here.
Let me, one of the biggest issues for me as a parent, but also somebody that, is in soccer,
understands the game,
understands the game in a completely different way. And I can be as blunt as possible with you. I believe your son was playing soccer because of your dream. Okay? You wanted him to be so involved in soccer. Maybe it didn't feel, but from what I understand from the way you were explaining things, how because you were putting in all the effort.
So I'll tell you why I started doing that. Because even in jiu-jitsu, because after every game or practice, they ask me, how did I do, Papa? And then I'm like, well, you tell me, how do you?
Yeah.
Oh, I did amazing.
Good.
I'm like, well, you didn't do amazing. You did good. And then, or when I would try to tell him, listen, in this position, this is what you do with the, arm bar, whatever.
Yeah.
It's difficult. Obviously, they're young kids. So then I'm like, instead of me criticizing them or trying to instruct them, let me do a video. That's what professional athletes watch, videos all day long, right?
Yeah.
Film.
Keyword being professional athletes.
So yes. So but that method worked when I would show it to him on TV.
Visually,
then visually he sees the mistake he's making. He's able to fix it. While he's in the moment, he thinks he's doing amazing. But no, soccer was not, my main sport was basketball. Soccer was not my primary sport. So I've never pushed them in any sport. I just want them to be in sports.
See, I think especially for Noah, right?
Yeah.
Having played soccer and now going into basketball and excelling has a lot to do with him, having played soccer, having had that experience.
Absolutely, yeah, I agree.
Which now helps him in basketball.
Yeah.
Because now, before where, soccer was maybe too fast and just because it's with his feet, not a lot of kids, they want to be having to deal with their feet, controlling. So I think him having played soccer is going to help him in basketball.
Absolutely, yeah.
And going back to, how do you have that conversation with parents, right?
Yes.
For me, I think it's very important for parents in our community here in Glendale. I think everybody, we have a lot of professionals, former professionals, as coaches, somebody like myself, other professional coaches that would be able to help parents out. They just have to reach out. And they have to really, when they get to a point where their child is not really, going on 1, 2, 3, 4 years developing or having fun, I think, first and foremost, parents should have conversation with their children. And if they have a conversation with their child and the child still wants to continue playing soccer, then the child just wants to do it for fun. He doesn't want to do it to become something in soccer. So they, as long as the child is having fun, because I can tell you, after 12 years old, 12, 13 years old, when a lot of kids start maturing, they'll know. Parents will know as well.
Yeah.
Because the child will, either force the parent to put them into more soccer, or they will get away from soccer.
I think it's even the conversations that take place in the house.
It is.
Or, you know what, waking up early in the morning to watch a Premier League game with mom or dad or whatever.
Will know.
You'll know right away.
You'll know.
Somebody who's passionate about something, they'll live, breathe, and eat it.
Yes.
And I see that with, for example, my brother's son. I mean, the kid knows the entire Premier League roster as far as who's playing in the Premier League and who's in what spot, what game finished what. Because you're like, all right, you know what? This kid is eating, breathing, and living soccer.
Yeah. And another, it's interesting because my son doesn't watch soccer.
At all?
He watches the highlights.
No way.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he watch the full games?
I don't know.
That's so fascinating.
It is fascinating. But when he plays soccer, he's got all the attributes.
That's so interesting.
He doesn't, I mean, he watches the goals and everything, but he doesn't study soccer.
So he doesn't have like a favorite team or anything that he follows? I'm waiting for you to say Arsenal.
No, it's not Arsenal. It's not Arsenal. I mean, he likes Barcelona. He watches Barcelona, which I feel sorry for him. But
yes, same here.
Yeah.
Same here.
He loves certain players, but there's no team that he's like, okay, this is my team.
Interesting.
But when he plays soccer, things come easy to him, technically and physically, just because he's got that gift. And I always tell him, and I'll tell him right now directly as well, because I know he'll be watching, that just with that is not going to be enough for you to make it become a soccer player. And I've told him this in private many times. Being gifted is not enough, because you get to a point where everybody's mature, everybody's tall, everybody's fast, everybody's technical. You get to a point where, which is going to be 16, 17 years old, everybody's going to be just as talented that is playing at that level, just as physically fast, just as physically, strong. Now it's the heart that is going to make the difference.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be that one kid that might be a little bit more hungrier than you.
There's always going to be. And I always, and I say this a lot. If my son makes it as a professional soccer player, then it's going to be worth a lot more than when I made it as a pro, because I had nothing. So I had to, the only way was up for me.
Yeah.
My back was
He's privileged. You weren't.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's got everything. So if he can get himself, and we're talking, but I'm having a conversation with my son right now, because this is, if he can make it from where he is right now, then it's going to be worth a lot more.
Oh, 100%.
In general, for all of our kids, because we, back in our days, we didn't have this. We didn't have the nice fields and the nice cleats, shoes, soccer cleats, everything that our kids have today.
Oh man, have you heard that funny story about Brazil and the soccer cleats in the fields?
Yes.
So they have you heard that story? So they said the Brazilian team was so talented because when you would go to Brazil and see the field that they were playing on, it was just dirt fields, sand, bumpy everywhere. and the skills were the players got so skillful that when they went onto an actual field that was flat,
it was too easy.
It was too easy for them. Yeah. And as time progressed, I mean, what's Brazil done since 2002?
Yeah.
Now they've advanced, they've progressed, and they can't win anything.
Well, it's funny because it's somewhat true. You have all these Brazilian players playing in European leagues, making all this money, taking it back home, starting leagues and clubs for kids, donating to their community, fixing these soccer fields,
making it easy.
But
yeah,
you know what?
No, I completely agree, because it's, this book, we go back to it, I believe that heart that, everybody knows Yura Movsisyan on the national team, right? The one thing that people knew about me as a soccer player was what? That I was never afraid of anybody and anything.
Yeah.
You
were somewhat of an enforcer on the field.
Yeah. Like I never really. That's in the Salt
bedroom.
Lake.
There you go.
Number 14.
Yes, Salt Lake.
When am I going to hang it in my bedroom?
Here you can.
By the way, that's his actual MLS championship ring.
Yeah.
Is what he has.
I'm going to take you on that offer by the end of the evening.
You
I'm
can
going to
bring it back tomorrow to my office.
He's going to come back with one of those 25-cent candy
I'll
rings.
take it to downtown, have them clone it, and I'll give you the other one.
He's going to pawn it.
Pawn it.
Oh, man.
Technology should move your business forward, not hold it back. At Titan Elite IT Services and Consulting, we make sure it does. Our clients don't wait days for help. They get real-time answers, fast resolutions, and dedicated support, both on-site and remote. From Los Angeles to Orange and Ventura counties, our coverage is local, statewide, and nationwide. When you need us, we're already on the way. We're not just an MSP. We build with you, from cloud migration to security to every endpoint in your network.
At Titan Elite, we don't just solve problems. We prevent them from happening. We become a part of your team and we grow with you.
Titan Elite IT Services and Consulting. Strategic, scalable, trusted, and always on.
Are you looking for a place to kick back and celebrate? Well, the Glen Arden Club has got you covered. Upstairs, you got a private lounge with a cigar room. Downstairs, you got the Moose Den, where you can have cocktails and private events. Hey, are you even hungry? They got an outside pizzeria serving one of the best pizzas in town. If you're interested in becoming a member with the Glen Arden Club or booking an event, contact the WiseNuts. We'll connect you to the boys at the Glen Arden, and you can become a member here or host your next gathering.
But I think there's, part of the challenge is also there's too much of this false sense of pride that parents have about their kids, because most parents think their kid is the best in, soccer, baseball, basketball. They're oblivious to reality.
Yeah.
Or they're vicariously trying to live through their kids.
Yes.
And on top of that, there's, for example, there's like the Real Madrid camps and the Barcelona camps and all these different camps where you take your kids, right? And it's whatever it is, a few $100 for 4 or 5 days of training. And then, I mean, it's an okay experience. And then they'll say, next year there's a camp in Spain. And then parents get all excited, like, oh my God, I wonder if I'm going to get invited. And then you get an email saying, we're inviting your son to Spain. And most parents think, oh my God,
they made it.
Real Madrid is interested in my son.
They start putting their house on the market.
No, I'm not kidding you, because I've had these conversations with parents, and then I'm like, listen, guys, with all due respect, like,
how much did you have to
I'm
pay?
a parent, and my kid was invited, and I don't think my kid is top 25 to be invited. But of course, as long as I'm willing to pay whatever few $1,000s, yeah, they'll take him.
Yeah.
And they'll say, oh, we were only picking 25, but it's maybe the first 25 who sign up. I don't know how it works. But my point is, and then they fall into this thing, right? Okay, we're going to spend a few grand on this camp, going to Spain now. We're taking the whole family, so it costs you $40,000 just to go to Spain for 1 week. And then, so now you think, shit, my kid's really got it. No, your kid doesn't have it.
You paid for it.
You paid for it.
Yes.
The moment Barcelona or whoever, Real Madrid, comes to you and says, "Hey, listen, we think your son, your daughter's got potential. We want to take him to Spain, and we're gonna cover all expenses." Then your kid's got it.
Yeah.
Until you have to write the check, your kid doesn't have it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. They get caught up into these, camps and so on and so forth, thinking, I have to push him more. I have to put him into this class and that class, and they just get all caught up in the mess.
This is something that I've faced a lot. I've had a lot of conversation with, and I'm not against parents giving their children opportunities to go to a Barcelona camp,
Sure.
to go to a Real Madrid camp, to go and stay there. If they can afford it, even better, So I think going there and giving their children opportunities. To me, I look at this in a way. When I hear a lot, my child is in Spain, and my first question is, how long has he been there, and are you paying for it or not?
Right.
99% of the times they're paying for it, which is normal. If they can afford it, I'm not going to be against it. It's giving their child the best opportunity. So I'm all for it. And when they're coming back, I tell them, if your child was good, great, and potential, they would keep him for free.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to pay for it.
Right.
So if he's coming back that doesn't mean it's the end of the world. No. I've been cut from teams many times before. So it's not. I always tell them, this is the opportunity for your child to say, okay, now it's time for me to put everything I have to work twice as hard as previously to prove them wrong, to prove that specific team wrong. And believe me, I think once kids have something to fight for, once kids, for me, and I can only talk about my experience, is that it was also always very important for me to have a villain in my head that I was proving somebody wrong, even at the pro level, motivation. Because just having motivation is not enough. Being motivated is not enough. Being disciplined, you need to be disciplined. Right. Because one morning you can wake up and you're not motivated. But if you're disciplined, you can make it. I say this a lot. Every kid has an opportunity. They can make it as a professional athlete. The more difficult part is staying a professional athlete. You can make it. Everybody has the same opportunities. So you can make it. But staying there is going to be the most difficult part.
Yeah.
Because a lot of kids, doesn't matter what level it is, when they go from an okay level to a higher level, they think they've made it. Even at the youth level, they think just because they play for a big club name, that they've made it. Especially in the youth system today, right? I always, when I talk to kids or parents or clubs, you don't have to be playing for LA Galaxy Academy for you to be looked at or have a chance to become a pro. Back in my days, we did have youth systems here. I never really played for the biggest clubs possible. I played for okay clubs. It's just when I really took off was from 14 to 16. That age group, that age is when I excelled. From 14 to 16. So this is why I always talk about it's those high school years that you're going to really either make it or not. And for me, it was the high school years that really took off. At 16, I was playing Sunday League here. And a lot of people that watch or know the soccer community here, I was playing Arcadia League for McCoy. Mm. And, and I had the English Premier League. I had an English Premier League team come watch my Sunday League game at Arcadia. Charlton Athletics. They were in the Premier League back in the day.
Yeah.
They came to a Sunday League game and they watched me here. So if you're good, they're going to notice you. If your child is good, people are going to see you. And I always, when I talk to kids, I always tell them, listen, scouts do not go watch, your final game. You play in a, let's say, Saturday evening final. It's easy to get motivated in that game. When I want to watch and see if this kid has it or not, I go on a Sunday afternoon in Palmdale, where the game doesn't matter. It's what you do on the field. Because that's when you'll see a kid that really wants to make it. He doesn't care whether it's a final. He doesn't care if it's a Sunday afternoon practice in 120, heat. They'll play. And I was one of those kids that, to me, it did not matter whether it's practice, game, tournament, whatever it was. I always, fought for becoming the best one possible.
I want to kind of go back and talk about that whole discipline factor you talked about. Being motivated, absolutely, it's a good thing. But the discipline factor is key for anything. You mentioned something about being the best at whatever you are that you're trying to do, whether it's being the best forward, midfielder, defenseman, goalie, doesn't matter the position. It kind of relates to martial arts or boxing or wrestling,
Any
right?
sport.
When it's easy to go and become champion.
Yeah.
You work your ass off, you beat whoever it is that you need to beat to get to the top. You go and fight the champion, you become the champion. It's holding that title now, because now you have something that everybody else wants.
Yeah. It's interesting because when you look at MLS, right? When guys get drafted or when they get to the MLS level, the drop off from first year to second year to third year is about 91%.
Really?
Yeah. Because a lot of guys, when they get to MLS, they think they made it. But when they get to MLS, that's when the shit starts.
Yeah.
That's when the difficulty starts. Nobody gives a shit who you were before you got there. It's what you do now. And I have these conversations a lot with my son. When I'm tough on him, when I'm, all these expectations I have on him right now, I tell him, listen, when you get to the next level, nobody's going to give a shit about your, emotions. I'm sorry to tell you, they don't care whether you're emotionally there or not.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
So nobody stop, this is not about your emotions. It's about now you're a robot. Now it's about discipline. How disciplined are you, and how focused you are.
Oh, yeah. When they talk about coming out of the tunnel, when you come out of that tunnel, you got to have tunnel vision. You have to zone everybody out, meaning the crowd, the people that are hecklers, everybody.
It's interesting when you're on the field, right? When you're playing on the field, I do not hear voices, noise.
And that's very difficult to do.
And I always say, once you're inside the white lines, you have to be a different person.
You got to check out.
You like, I was not a very nice person on the field.
Yeah, we know.
Which was good. Which that's what if you want. It's a dog eat dog world. I'm sorry.
You were the enforcer, man.
Yeah,
everybody saw it. Everybody saw it. Even at Spartak as well. You were the enforcer.
Because on the field, off the field, I'm the nicest person. And you guys know me. I'm the nicest.
Well, not always.
I knew that one was coming. But I'm pretty nice off the field, out of the lines. But inside the lines, listen, either you get broken or either they break you or you break them.
You have the competitive factor in you. It's built in you. When you talked about heart, you had it in you.
Yeah.
That's why when you're on the field, it's like, listen, I got to ask you this. Let's say a former teammate is now playing on the opposite team.
I would break his leg.
That's it.
I don't care.
That's it. That's all it is.
After the game, I would go to the hospital to visit him. But
and shake his hand and say, "You okay?"
Yeah, I would tell him.
I mean, I think one of the most. This is kind of like off topic, but we mentioned, you got to check out the crowd, right? I sent the boys a video the other day of Luis Figo and the transfer. The
Barca
transfer,
to Real.
Bro. That was probably one of the most craziest transfers that's ever happened.
Yeah.
And for those of you that don't know about it, Barcelona and Real Madrid have this massive rivalry that's been going on for
It's
hundreds
the
of years.
It's the biggest rivalry in the world. Sports.
Yeah, basically El Clásico is that rivalry. Barcelona Real. Luis Figo played for Barcelona, and a transfer took place where Luis Figo went from Barcelona.
No, he promised he would never go to Real Madrid.
Well, yeah, that was He said he would never go to Real Madrid, and Luis Figo left and went to Real Madrid. And
is that why they were booing him every time?
Booing him, bro?
No,
he had death threats.
No, I'm talking about this. You know, the classic.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's it.
That's why they were booing him.
Luis Figo he basically did something. I mean, he did something like no soccer player should have ever done. People were calling him the Judas of soccer. You don't do that. If he went to Porto, if he went to the Premier League, if he went anywhere else, they'd be like, you know what? Thank you for playing for Barcelona. We love you. Dude, you went to one of the biggest rivals in your entire league where the entire league was playing for third place.
Let me put it this way. If you're Armenian and you choose to go play for Azerbaijan.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the closest
or vice versa.
Or vice versa. That's the closest, that you could get to explaining, especially for us Armenians.
There were games where they said, listen, maybe you shouldn't play today.
Yeah.
Because it was a danger.
They knew
to his
there
life.
was danger.
You had security surrounding him constantly. I mean, the guy would go take a corner kick, and then you had security with like riot gear holding shields up just in case they don't throw a bottle and hurt him.
Yeah.
Wow.
His family, his wife, his kids, everybody was threatened.
I'll tell you guys a funny story. So, where were we playing? And the riot gear you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
I think I was playing with, an MLS. We were playing at some stadium. I don't remember, where it's like a big Azerbaijani community. And, I always, every public interview or anything, or Turkish, I would always say about the genocide. Like everybody knows what it means to me, the genocide, right? 1915. And I was very public about it. So we arrived at the stadium. We were playing some MLS game, and there were maybe 300-400 Turkish fans, like after a big interview of mine. And normally I don't take corner kicks. I'm a striker, so I'm inside the box. But the whole game, 90 minutes, they were, throwing stuff at the field for me, at the field. And I wouldn't react to it because, you're in the zone. You don't really see any of it.
Yeah.
And once the game finished, everybody were walking off the field. Everything I found on the field, I threw back at him, which drove them nuts. But I made sure the cameras were off. It was
just in case.
Just in case. So, and I remember hitting two of them, literally.
But how did you know who to hit? I mean,
when you see a flag.
Oh, you
have a pretty good target.
When you see a giant toilet paper inside of the stands, that's how you figure out how it is.
Speaking of the different levels of club, going back to that, like, for instance, there's, even during the games, I've noticed, for instance, like, there's multiple fields, and then you're looking at the game behind you, and if I see they're really playing well, I'm like, what year are these kids? And they'll tell me, 2018 or whatever. You're like, wow, these kids are really different. They're playing like little mini professional soccer players. And so you're trying to figure out, okay, do I go to this club? Is it because of the club? Is it because of the coach? Is it because of whatever? And, a lot of parents are kind of having this type of dilemma too. It's like, okay, I live in Glendale, for example, and there's 3 clubs here.
Yeah.
It's 5 minutes for me to take them to soccer practice, but it's a mediocre club.
Yeah.
Do I take them to that mediocre club? Let's say they're already kind of in that early teenage years, high schooler, where that's that key development age. Or even for younger kids, you're like, do I drive 5 minutes to this club? They practice whatever they do, versus there's a really stronger club, but it's over an hour drive every time.
It's about investment. This is an investment, meaning if my parents didn't invest in me, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. Okay. I think it's about finding ways also for parents to really, this is why I say, as a parent, for instance, for different sports, right? For my daughter, and then you'll understand what I mean. She plays volleyball. I have zero clue about volleyball. Zero. Mm-hmm. But my daughter's pretty competitive. So thankfully, I found a great club that she plays on right now. Even then, so recently I went to Dartmouth. I finished my MBA at Dartmouth. I think we spoke.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So luckily we had a Olympic beach volleyball player that was in my class. So when I got an opportunity to speak to him, and he was at the Paris Olympics, for beach volleyball, but he played D1 at UCLA as well. So, I started talking to him. I started asking him a million questions about volleyball. And now Miles, his name is Miles Partain. He's, Olympic player, and he's going to play in the LA Olympics. Now, you should see my text with him. I'm asking him a million questions about volleyball to give my daughter the best opportunity possible in volleyball. Mm-hmm. I'm learning as well. So what I would say is ask for people, talk to people, have conversations with people. Every Armenian, we all know each other one way or another. So whether it's asking different coaches, don't be afraid. It's for your child. So you need to put your ego aside and reach out to a coach. Put your ego aside and reach out to me and ask what I think about it. Recently, I had a parent that called me, through a friend of a friend, called me saying, my son is playing at a certain club, at this club, and he's playing, he's on the bench as well, but I want to take him to a different club. So we started talking, and everything I was hearing, it was about the parent. And I asked him, is your son enjoying playing on the team? He was like, yeah, my son enjoys it, but I don't. I said, listen, this is not about you. This is about your child. Especially at 11 years old, your child is supposed to enjoy it right now. Yeah. Because right now you want to do everything to turn your son into a professional soccer player. I'm sorry to tell you, but your son is not going to turn into a professional soccer player at 11 years old. That time will come later on. But as long as your child is enjoying playing at the level now, because every time we're having any of these conversations, we're assuming that our children are going to become professional soccer players. We're doing this assuming that our child wants to become a pro athlete at this. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, it's not going to happen. Very, very, very small percentage number. 20 years. It's been 20 years, man. And we've only had me turn pro.
Yeah.
And we've had, tens of thousands of soccer players.
You'll know.
You
will know when your kid is good enough to play at a very high
competitive
elite level.
Yes.
But see, that depends, though. Look, for example, you could be 14 years old, 15 years old, you're playing basketball, right? You're amazing. You're playing for whatever, Glendale High School, and
2 years later, you're done.
No, but then you have a game against Charter or whatever these schools, and then the 6'8" guy shows up who's dunking over you and half your teammates.
Yeah.
And then you realize, maybe I should go play golf. Maybe this isn't my sport.
No, I think where we're going with this is skill-wise. When your kid is on the field and he's at, I don't know, let's call it 14, 15 years old, and his speed, his technique is much more efficient and much more superior than a lot of the other kids. And when they move up to another league and they begin to keep up, if not surpass 16, 17-year-olds, then hey, this kid may have something. That's when you begin to, as Yura says, invest in your child. Meaning, you can't just rely on him going to practice and just practicing with the team. You have to bring in a private coach and have them go one-on-one with them to build up better skills and better techniques that they could use on the field with the team itself.
I could tell you, when I was 14 years old, 15 years old, and I was developing, as I was developing, there came a point where both of my parents were working, and I was playing in a club that, let's just say, I outgrew the club already.
You see?
Yeah. So another club, a higher club at that time, was a club that was 2.5 hours away from me with the bus. So I made a decision that I'm going to, 3 times a week, I'm going to get on a public bus. My parents couldn't take me. They could drive me back, and we found a way where after high school, I would get on a bus, drive 2.5 hours to Rancho Cucamonga for 7 p.m. practice. And you guys know, from Pasadena to Rancho Cucamonga, from between 4 p.m., it's all traffic.
Rush hour, yeah.
There's
impossible.
280 accidents.
So I would get on the bus for 2.5 hours to get to practice. So that was the investment I made.
But you made that. Would you make that investment for your? Is it worth that driving, for example, 2 hours for a better club for your kids?
Well,
Versus
that's what he was saying. He was at that point where
I outgrew the club.
He outgrew the club and the players.
See, I would answer it this way, okay? If your club is playing for a club team right now, if your child is playing for a club team right now, and he's the best player on that team, and it's too easy for him, then that's the time for you to look to move him up a level or 2. But if your child is, 13, 14, and this is why I mentioned 13, 14, 15 years old.
Yeah.
If they're just playing on a team and they're just, just average, then
leave them alone.
Going to a higher level is not going to make it.
Yeah, you got to leave them alone. Let them.
Even though you might have a helicopter to fly your child from Glendale to, I don't care, take him to practice with the helicopter.
Right. Still
it's not going to make a difference.
Yeah.
You understand? So this is why there's only certain kids that come with that it factor.
Yeah.
But you'll only see that a lot of parents, a lot of mistakes that they make is when the child is 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, and they're really, really good. And I've seen this with my own experience, with my own child. The PYFA camp we did about 4 years ago was the first year we did it. And my son was on that, on the team of 50, 60 players that we brought together. And then we picked the best 7, 8 players and we sent them to Armenia. My son was in that group.
Nice.
Yeah. And he was not good.
Really?
Yeah. He was not good. He was not even on a list of, because we have 11 coaches that grade the players. And my son was not good at that time, to be picked to go. And although, yes, I can take my son any day I want to Armenia, to any team I want, but I did not do it because I knew he was not ready for it. You understand? Although I had the resources, although I had the connections, although I could take him, I did not do it.
Yeah.
Because I knew he was not ready for it.
You don't want to Bronny James your son.
Yeah. I'm not, I wasn't, and he was not mature at that time. But at that time, there were kids that were, so far ahead, in their years that they were so good that everybody that would look at it, those kids at that time, they were like, oh my God, these kids can play adult soccer. But half of those kids are done right now playing soccer, because they matured too early. At the same time, a lot of the big mistakes that the community made, parents made was, really, their children became superstars at a very young age. And then the child believed he was a superstar. And guess what he did?
Stop working.
He plateaued, basically.
Yeah, he just went downhill from there.
Oh, shit.
And we've seen a lot of those cases as well. So it's very, it's very difficult to balance communicating to your child, keeping them grounded. Keeping them grounded is what I have been doing to my child. Listen, and he knows what, the connections I have. But I've told him, I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to push you. Because if I push you, you're not going to understand the value of hard work. I don't want people to say, oh, just because it's Yura's son, he's there. No, because that's going to kill him. That's going to kill his soccer career. I want him to achieve that himself. Yeah. I'll open the door.
Is this what you're going to do to me?
No. Let me show you.
So if you've been injured in a car accident, trip and fall, nerve, muscle, joint, any sort of pain at all, hit up Dr. Rafi. What's the number at? 818-407-0007. And tell him the WiseNuts sent you.
When you're involved in an accident, choosing the right attorney is the most important decision you can make. Let us show you why we're different at Megradician Law. With 11 attorneys on our team, we're able to go to trial and fight for your case. More important, the pedigree of our firm is customer service, so you always get a call, you always get an update. Lastly, we're results driven. We win. Let us show you how. Call us at 818-530-1300 or bestcaraccidentattorney.com.
How many professional athletes do we know in any sport, right? Michael Jordan's kids don't play basketball at that level. Magic Johnson, well, his son is,
his son is his daughter.
You look at, the Larry Birds. Do you know anybody except LeBron James?
It's very rare for a professional to have their son
Michael
play.
Klay Thompson, right? And
Michael Thompson and the Currys as well. Steph Curry and his brother.
There aren't very many of them, though, right?
There again, it's. I think it's what Yura says. A lot of these parents may open up certain doors for their children and then grab their hand and walk through that door with them instead of telling them, "Hey, listen, I'll open the door, but you got to walk through."
You would think of any athlete out there, Michael Jordan being the god of basketball.
Well, Michael Jordan at this point, the only
Listen, I think that specifically with Michael Jordan, right? Anybody that's been an elite athlete like Michael Jordan, if he sees that his child is not an elite athlete, he will not push him through it.
Right.
It's very simple.
Which means he's not going to use his connections to push his right.
And
which is
no parent should.
Yeah.
No parent should. You can open the door. I always tell them, I'll open the door. It's on you to walk through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on you to make it. Because if I push you, it's like a bubble, it's going to burst one day and everything is going to reveal itself.
And then they're going to blame you for it.
Exactly.
And they could be resentful and all of a sudden, Dad, you made me do it. I didn't want to do it. I never wanted to play soccer.
Yeah. So for me, especially with my children, I'm going to open the door for them. And I've opened the door for them. Meaning, I've given him the playbook, with my son. Although I'm just dad to him, I give him all the information that he needs. Yeah. What he does with the information, it's on him. How he uses it is on him. But yes, I do. For me right now at this point, the number one thing that I'm working with my child is discipline. And discipline about the simple things.
Yeah.
Once he gets used to discipline, the rest will come easy for it. The rest will fall in place.
You're doing the right thing as far as being that parent / I guess you would say somewhat of a life coach. For him. And your kids better than anybody else. You'll know if and when they have that it factor and where they will end up at the end of the day.
In one way, and this is something I'm also very, vocal about, is I'm okay with my kids making mistakes.
Well, I'm
completely okay with that.
Yeah. You have to be.
It's very, and I tell them, you can make a mistake once. I don't have a problem with that. Because normally in life, when you make a mistake and you learn from a mistake, it's not a mistake anymore. It's a life lesson. I want them to have, life lessons, different life lessons. So I'm not one of those dads that is, when the kid makes one mistake, that's it. You throw the kitchen sink at him. No, I'm not. I normally throw the kitchen sink at him whenever he does that third or fourth time. That's when he gets the kitchen sink.
Are you on the sidelines quiet or are you?
I'm very quiet on the side.
You don't say anything,
no,
right?
Because I'm the dad.
Yeah.
And this is another very important thing that I want, parents that are watching to listen. You're just their dad or mom. You're not their coach. So stop coaching your children.
Yeah, confuses them on the field, man, especially the younger kids.
We take our children, right? We take them to school. We take them to sports. And what do we tell them? Listen to your coach, right? So when you tell your child and you take him to a team and tell him, you have to listen to your coach, listen to everything he tells you. And then you go to a game and the coach is standing there and you're screaming from there. You're confusing your child.
Yeah,
absolutely. I get rattled up when I talk about this.
You're okay.
Because understand this, child's psychology, right? Child's mentality. When the child is running, and getting tired on the field, he's programmed to listen to the coach. No matter where the child is on the field, right? When the coach speaks, the child will listen to him, will hear him.
Yeah.
But understand, I always tell this to parents, just look at it this way. Your child is programmed to listen to the coach. And then, normally dads, right? When does dad scream? When do we dads scream?
When they've done something wrong.
Exactly. When the dad is standing 30, 40, 50 yards away and the dad is screaming, the child, especially at a younger age, the child does not think, the way the child thinks is, oh crap, I did something wrong. So that instinct kicks in. So now the child is like confused. Is dad upset? But dad is just screaming from 40 yards out, just so he thinks that his child can't hear him. But the child can hear him. You understand? So we're confusing our kids when we're screaming on the field. It's okay for your child to make mistakes on the field, because that gives the opportunity for coaches to coach them, to help them.
Yeah, don't be the coach.
Don't be the coach.
Be the parent, and then talk to them after the game and say, hey, you know what? This is what I thought of your game. This is what I think you did good. This is what I think you did bad. But
I always tell parents the 5-on-5 rule. I don't know if you guys know.
What is it? Tell us.
The 5-on-5 rule is after a game, when your child gets in the car, okay, just tell them, listen, tell me 5 good things you did, 5 bad things you did in the game. Let your child analyze himself, okay? Because when he analyzes himself, guess what? When he does it out loud, his ears can hear him, okay? When you talk, your ears hear, and when the child is analyzing himself, he will hear his, instead of just thinking about what he did, when he talks it out loud, it will record in his brain.
Oh, yeah. He's going to hear his own mistakes.
He's going to hear his own mistakes. Also, he's going to hear the good things he did. And then you tell him as the parent, you tell him you're 5-on-5. Get in a dialogue with your child instead of just getting in the car and just tell him everything that he did wrong. Because guess what? The child gets in the car, and when you start telling him all the negatives, he's going to shut up. He's going to shut down. He's not going to hear what you're saying because of fear, because of the protective mechanism in his.
It's the fight or flight kind of mechanism.
So
yeah.
he's not going to hear it. It's not going to make any difference. Yeah. So just use the 5-on-5. Have a conversation, whether it's basketball, baseball, whatever sport it is. Get in right now. When you guys tell your 5 and his 5, you guys are going to be this. It's going to be different. One day you'll be here. You guys will both see the same thing, but right now it's going to be different, and it's okay for you to be different because you're telling your point of view as a parent. But let your child speak. Let your child analyze himself, because he will also, once he analyzes, he will hear himself as well.
Yeah, I think.
And then one day in a game, he will remember what he mentioned. He remembered that, he made this mistake.
Yeah. Saying it out loud to yourself,
regardless of age.
No, you're going to catch yourself not wanting to make that same mistake. Yeah. I kind of wanted to dip into what you mentioned about the youth in Armenia. Yeah. And I know we got a little bit more time to talk to you about this. This is a very important subject to talk about because the Armenian youth and the clubs in Armenia that are being built and the talent that's coming out of Armenia, are you involved in any sort of way as helping build the youth there at all?
I think, listen, just Armenian in general, okay, our mentality. If we want our if we want to have better soccer, this has to be a collective change in our soccer, in our mentality. And I believe in the last, I would say probably 2-3 years, we've seen extremely positive changes in Armenia. You look at Noah, the investments they've put in at club level, different clubs. But Noah, if you look at today's Armenian Premier League, the professional league, it's a lot more competitive. It's a lot more, for instance, this year Noah played at in Europe.
Yeah.
Never been done before.
Yeah, the talent is getting much better.
The talent is there. But also, I believe for Armenian soccer, we need the infrastructure. So we need our government to help with the infrastructure, like a stadium, like many stadiums.
I know that the stadium in Yerevan is still abandoned, right?
Yeah, I mean, I always bring this. When I was recently in Armenia. In September, I had many conversations with many people, and I'm a person that, and I went public, and I said this publicly as well, that I believe in order for us to have or to develop soccer, we all have to come together. We all have to. Everybody that loves soccer, that has played at the highest level. We need to come together, sit on a round table, everybody, and help each other out, because everybody has one idea of how to do things.
Yeah.
And I believe in order for us to develop our soccer, to have a bright future, we all need to come together, and we all need to, put our egos aside, and it's teamwork. And we, as Armenians, we always say, we don't have teamwork.
Are you working with the current football federation in Armenia right now at all, in any sort of way?
I am. I'm not only just working with them, but, I've offered to go back to Armenia to help create a professional league. So right now, currently, the football federation is the one that organizes the Premier League in Armenia.
Yeah.
Which is wrong. Extremely wrong.
So who should be organizing that?
We should just look at it this way, okay? Like our federation is the equivalent of US soccer in America. Okay. But then we have MLS, Major League Soccer, that is a completely different entity. It's private. MLS is like NBA, NFL.
It's its own league.
It's its own league. But imagine if US soccer was the one that was running MLS. Rules and everything.
A lot of politics would be involved.
A lot of politics. That's why in Armenia, I believe that the league, the Armenian Premier League, should be separate entity
from
run by the clubs, from the football federation. Right now, the football federation is the one that organizes it, puts the games together, which it shouldn't be.
Are the teams privately owned in Armenia?
They are all privately owned. But at the same time, the governing body, so the federation is a governing body. That's it. They make the rules. They should be worried about the national teams, all different ages national teams. And that's it. And the referees. In world soccer, that's what federations do.
That's what FIFA is.
That's what FIFA is. And I believe that, and I, offered to go back to Armenia to organize, to put a team together and bring all of the professional teams and create a separate league where, all the clubs come together and you create your own professional league where all the sponsorship money goes there to the clubs. And, except I believe also that the government of Armenia, they have a lot to do in creating, for instance, the infrastructure.
Yeah.
We're lacking infrastructure in Armenia.
And you've experienced playing for the old Armenian Federation and now somewhat dealing with the new federation.
Yeah.
What changes have you seen from the old coming to the new?
I think the biggest change you see is a lot more freedom, in how, for instance, every club runs itself right now.
Yeah.
Where before it was not, but when I played, I represented Armenia. It was a different system, man. It was a completely different system back then. The country was completely different, when you look at it. But now I believe, there's a lot of good things that have happened, a lot of good things. But now I believe it's time for everybody to work together. The clubs to work together, the federation to work, the country to work together, in order for us to have better infrastructure, to have stadiums. And I always bring this example. Imagine an 8-year-old kid driving around Yerevan, and we don't have a stadium with, let's say, all the lights, like a beautiful state-of-the-art stadium.
Yeah.
Imagine today, if we had that stadium, the 8-year-old driving around would dream to one day be inside that stadium, right? Just, it's very simple. Where today, when they drive around Yerevan, what are they going to dream of playing which stadium?
See, that's where the motivation factor comes in.
Exactly.
And that motivation factor will eventually turn into discipline.
For a child, it's, for a young child, you need dreams. You need to, make them dream of becoming that or playing one day in that stadium.
Yeah, pulling up to that stadium, going through the tunnel.
Yes.
100%. I agree. Absolutely.
So I think there's a lot of factors in it. But, for our government, for our federation, for the clubs, all to work together to give the best opportunities, to, give coaches the opportunity to study. And not just in soccer, but also in psychology, the sports psychology. To have our coaches really be, especially for youth soccer, the coaches in youth soccer have to also really, understand how to work with kids, how to work with 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds, instead of us Armenians, just the coaches. We right now we have a lot of good coaches. I could tell you in Armenia, a lot of younger coaches coming through, and a lot of the younger coaches coming through, they're very focused on the psychological part of the child's development as well, which is key in youth development. Because, where before, years back, a lot of coaches would act as parents as well. And, my belief is the parent is the parent of the child, the coach is the coach. The coach can never be a parent of that child. And the parent should never be the coach. Those are two separate things. And we should keep it separate. You worry about being a parent and let the coach worry about being the coach, not vice versa. Mm-hmm. Because then egos get in the way. Then emotions get in the way. Then, coach cannot be a parent of 22 players. So
I can't believe we don't have a stadium there. Because when I lived in Abovyan, there was the Kotay Dash, which was right next to.
This was when
early 80s.
Early 80s.
What's the main stadium that's abandoned right now?
Harazdan
Stadium, right? It's so sad that space can be utilized and it's there. All you got to do is demo it and build, or even, I would actually demo it. Demo it, start from the ground up, build something beautiful there.
Yeah.
Because
we need it. We need it. For soccer, we need it.
The talent is there. The coaches are there, as you mentioned. And look, we got a lot of great, smart kids who can become physical therapists, doctors that can contribute to the sport of soccer as well, and can help turn these kids into amazing, amazing European soccer players.
Yeah.
When you're involved in an accident, choosing the right attorney is the most important decision you can make. Let us show you why we're different at Megradician Law. With 11 attorneys on our team, we're able to go to trial and fight for your case. More important, the pedigree of our firm is customer service, so you always get a call, you always get an update. Lastly, we're results driven. We win. Let us show you how. Call us at 818-530-1300 or bestcaraccidentattorney.com.
Is this what you're gonna do to me?
No. Let me show you.
So if you've been injured in a car accident, trip and fall, nerve, muscle, joint, any sort of pain at all, hit up Dr. Rafi. What's the number at? 818-407-0007. And tell him the WiseNuts sent you.
Technology should move your business forward, not hold it back. At Titan Elite IT Services and Consulting, we make sure it does. Our clients don't wait days for help. They get real-time answers, fast resolutions, and dedicated support, both on-site and remote. From Los Angeles to Orange and Ventura counties, our coverage is local, statewide, and nationwide. When you need us, we're already on the way. We're not just an MSP. We build with you, from cloud migration to security to every endpoint in your network.
At Titan Elite, we don't just solve problems. We prevent them from happening. We become a part of your team and we grow with you.
Titan Elite IT Services and Consulting. Strategic, scalable, trusted, and always on.
There's nothing that we do not have that other countries have. There's literally nothing. And for me, when I say everybody needs to come together to come up with the Armenian plan, you know, previously we've tried Spanish plan, you know, Dutch, all these other European countries.
Yeah.
To how to develop, you know. But I think Armenians are we're just different. Our mentality is different. Our genes are different. So I believe that, you know, people like myself and people that have played at the highest level, we need to all of us come together to bring, because we have brilliant minds. We have brilliant coaches. So all of these people need to come together to create our way of soccer.
And I think your experience factor would play a major role in that.
Yeah, I mean, I've had my experiences. This is just my experience, you know. But we've had, you know, so many players like myself that have experienced different. You know, for instance, Aras Ozbilis.
Yes.
You know, he was raised in Holland.
Yes.
You know, he's in soccer right now. He's coaching right now. He was running for president in Armenia for federation as well.
Yes.
2 years ago. So we have all these people. We have all these former teammates of mine that are in soccer right now, and also people that were our coaches. That we all need to start working together for one goal, for one purpose. We need to put our egos aside. Everybody needs to put their ego aside and come together for one cause. And that is to give the kids the best opportunity possible in Armenia.
Yeah, because you see all these Armenian kids or Armenian men, I should say, who've played for multiple leagues. You yourself, you played in the Russian league.
Yeah.
You played in the MLS. I mean, talk about two completely different sides of the world where it's two completely different leagues. You took a lot of information away from both.
Yes.
Why not have that talent in Armenia to help build whatever it is that we're trying to build there? I mean, these kids are going to see people like you, Henrik Mkhitaryan, Ozbeli, all these guys, and be like, hey, you know what? These are the guys that are helping build this federation up. They did it. Why can't I?
Yeah, exactly. And this is why I say, you know, we did it. Now we've told our story, how we did it. The next generation has to be better than us.
Yeah. Listen, kids, they're ready to pass the torch.
Yes.
They've paved the way for you.
Absolutely. They're ready to pass the torch. It's all up to you guys now. And the talent is there. We know the talent's there. Yura's seen it. Everybody's seen it. Now it's just a matter of everybody, as you said.
Yes.
Well, yeah, you haven't seen it because you're on the sidelines yelling at everybody. But we're truly hoping that what you just said, people putting their egos aside, will actually take place. And we can possibly see, we were hoping to see Armenia in the World Cup in America this year, but
Yeah, that's not
unfortunately it didn't happen. But hey, listen, They've expanded the teams. There's more groups. There's more teams. Opportunity is there. Listen, man. If certain teams in like these random countries in Africa and off the coast can do it, why can't we?
Exactly. And again, I go back to it's all about teamwork, and we in our time proved that us Armenians we can work as a team.
Exactly.
We were proof of it. And I truly believe now in the next stage, again, if we get the group together, now not on the field, off the field, if we get all the people that were, that had success with the Armenian national team, if we all come together and have the support of the government, have the support of the federation, we will achieve big things again in soccer.
And we're such a small population. Man.
We are.
But look at how much we've achieved. It's like India. India's 1.4 billion people. They couldn't come up with 11 players to play soccer. They should technically
do they even have a soccer team?
Yeah.
Well,
they do.
Well, they're 1.4 billion people.
I'll tell you guys a funny story. So I was with MLS. I was still in Salt Lake back in the day. And then we went to preseason. I believe it was Argentina, man. And then we heard that we had an Indian player come try out on our team. And, I'm 18, 19 years old. And then this guy showed, I don't remember his name. This guy showed up. He was my roommate, and apparently he was the Brad Pitt of India. So every second he was doing interviews just because he came to MLS for a tryout. He didn't make the team.
Did he make it in Hollywood?
He didn't make it. He didn't make the team.
But your room smelled like curry the whole time.
Famous. He was constantly doing interviews and media, but he didn't make the team. So that says a lot.
Did he at least make some tikka masala for you? That Indian food, baby. That Indian food. We're gonna end on an Indian food.
Got a question though.
Go ahead.
What position does your daughter play, Yura?
Volleyball,
yeah.
outside hitter.
Outside hitter? Or,
yeah.
The reason why I ask is both my daughters play.
Yeah, Joe's daughters are savages on the volleyball court.
How old are they and what club?
16, Supernova, and then 13 and Supernova again.
Okay, is Berge the coach?
Yeah, Berge is the coach.
Yeah, I recently Saturday I took my daughter to Ferayan just for a practice.
Oh, there you go.
But my daughter plays for SG.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And
so my daughter's libero. She's
libero.
She's Sophie. So she's a diver. She's pretty crazy.
Nice.
She's a Division 2 club player right now.
Oh, I love it. I love it. No, they're volleyball. I'm fascinated by volleyball right now, honestly. Because
it's a growing sport, man.
It is a growing sport. It's but it's an amazing sport. And my daughter, she started with soccer at 6 years old. And then she went into gymnastics. And she did gymnastics for 3 years. And then she broke her femur in gymnastics.
Shit.
And she had broken it 2 weeks prior, but she had competition. So she didn't tell us she had broken it. She didn't tell us that it was bad just because she had competition. So mentally she's, tough. And then once she stopped with gymnastics, I took her back to soccer. She didn't want to play. And then she went to volleyball. And she's excelled in volleyball right now. And I have my daughter work with Miles Partain, the Olympic player. And she's gonna go. Yeah. She's going to play.
My younger one is also Evelyn. She's amazing. She's a hitter. So
nice.
We're swamped with club. Like my wife one day is in Texas, and then I'm in Vegas the same time.
So we must have been at Red Rock together.
Yeah. I was at Red Rock.
We were at Red Rock. Oh my God.
Every kid has a sport or some sort of niche, whether it's volleyball, basketball, soccer. Hell, if your kid's not athletic, put him into like chess or something as well. I think so, man.
No, bro. What are you talking about?
Every kid has it.
Every kid has something.
You have to find it. Every kid has the
and I just said it. I said if it's not sports, take them into chess, piano, some sort of another form of art. If your kid is not a team player, I mean, look, you could try as much as you can, but look, solo sports aren't bad either. Because I mentioned it last time not last time, but months ago on the show, where judo, jiu-jitsu, even chess, it helps a kid figure out how to get out of a situation.
I'm not saying don't put your kids in sport or whatever else, but
Every kid.
but I think most kids don't have it. They just do it because it's a sport.
No, but there's something. So every kid has something that they're going to be good at. Whether it's, like I said, soccer, basketball, chess, volleyball, it doesn't matter. But you got to try different sports.
They'll be good at something. They may be good at hammering a nail.
Bro,
that doesn't.
30 minutes ago, we were talking, and you mentioned your son went from soccer. He wasn't doing well. Now he's doing basketball, and he's excelling.
No, but my kids are athletic. Most kids are not athletic.
Well, then at that point, you take them into
most
something
kids
else.
Putting their left and foot, ahead of each other is a challenge.
No,
most kids to me they're not athletic. Like,
see, to me, athleticism, being an athletic kid, right? Mm-hmm. You have to, as a parent, it's your job to find that sport for your kid, because as you mentioned, some kids are not athletic, right? But then there's specific sport for that as well.
What is that sport?
Football. When they're
American
big kids.
Football?
When they're big kids.
Okay, maybe they could be no offensive lineman.
Yeah, well, I mean, still a position.
If they have flat feet and they're big.
I'm just saying it's
oh man, go look at some of these quarter miles these offensive linemen run.
Oh my God,
it's insane.
Did you see that guy they just recruited from Nigeria?
No, I haven't.
Never played football. What is he? 6'5", 275, like supposedly 6% body. This guy's never played football. He's breaking records.
Yeah, because he's probably built.
He's an athlete.
He's built like an athlete.
No, he's built. He's a specimen. I mean,
bro, it's like Francis Ngannou. Do you know who Francis Ngannou is? Francis Ngannou came out of.
You can't just go into the NFL and like rock. Bro, it doesn't matter how big you are.
Francis Ngannou is probably one of the most amazing specimens that's ever fought MMA. Yeah. The guy basically grew up in, I think he's in Senegal, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere in Africa.
Senegal, Cameroon.
Or Cameroon, one of those countries. But he probably ate the most clean food. He worked his ass off as a digger and a tire changer as well. But he's like 6'7", 6'8", and he's jacked. He's Uberim without the steroids, or Overeem without the steroids.
Yeah, I mean, it's every kid has, a gift in them. It's on the parent
to
notice it.
To
notice it. And that, that can come in different ways. It could come in with challenges. It could come in, failures. But it's on the parent to understand what their child is really good at and really put their effort in putting in that child into that specific, whether it's sport, whether it's profession, whatever it is. It's giving the child, the best opportunity possible.
Like I never have to say, Sophie or Evelyn, it's your practice time, be ready.
Yeah.
Like whether it be club or anything else. And I mean, like this kid's been driven, like out of nowhere. Like she's CIF champion. Like
nice.
Yeah, like for cross country.
What high school did they play at?
Ferayan. Yeah.
Were they at? Hold on. Were they at practice this weekend?
I believe
Saturday.
My wife would take care of that. Yeah.
Because I believe your 14-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
She was at practice with my daughter.
Oh, Evelyn.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then there you go.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Anything else before we call it?
There was a question.
They're asking if he's going to make it to dinner.
There is a question though.
Oh,
dinner.
I don't know. Somebody's saying, is he going to make it to dinner?
Where is the question? There's a good question.
Edith is asking if he's going to make it to dinner.
I didn't know he has a dinner date tonight.
No, I don't have dinner. I just have to pick up my son from LACC. But
there was one question. Hold on for the book signing.
Well, yeah, that's one thing I was actually going to bring up before calling it a show. Our Dustin Dreams Playground Battles by Yura Movsisyan. Are there going to be any book signings, meet and greets?
I'm so I was having I've already had a book signing events, but we're planning more.
Okay.
We're planning more.
And they could, and obviously they could get dates and stuff off of your social media. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you guys aren't following Yura Movsisyan, follow Yura Movsisyan on IG. And his stories or his posts, he'll let you guys know when the next book signing is going to be.
QR code.
The QR code right there. If you're watching it on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Kick, scan the QR code. It'll take you to the store. You could buy the book.
And I'll sign it.
There you go. And he'll sign it as well. Other than that, are you quitting the show or any of you guys walking out?
No, we're good.
I want to let the watchers know.
Last time I was here, somebody quit on the show.
Yeah.
They resigned.
That's why I wanted to ask the guys before. Well, guys, thank you to the watchers. Thank you to Yura. Imagine
He's like, damn it.
If you have to quit, just quit. Yeah, just make it 2 out of 2.
Oh, jeez. Anyways, Yura, we appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you for everything you've done and everything you're continuing to do for our community, man. We truly appreciate it. Again, thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule to be with us again.
Thank you, guys, man. And, I was here 6 years ago, and I had an amazing time. And then
that one time we raised almost $400,000 together. Remember?
Yes. And then, I really have been, I've been following you guys. I've watched all your videos and everything. And I really enjoy seeing you guys take a step on a level that I don't think there's any other Armenian podcasters.
Yeah.
And, if one day you guys need some help, let me know. Well, I won't quit. No, I'm kidding.
I wonder if our parents thought when we were kids, this kid's got a gift. One day he's going to be a podcaster.
This jackass is going to have a mic in front of his face.
You guys have been, doing an amazing job in a lot of different topics. Last podcast, I don't know if it was the last podcast when you guys were talking about, what is it that you guys, what's your niche?
Yeah.
I watched that.
Yes, that was with Elina Abovian. Yes, it was last one.
Elina.
Yeah.
And I think, in my opinion,
sure,
you guys are the one platform that talk about everything freely. And I really love that you guys are, trying to educate kids, and dads as well, to be present dads, to be men, especially for the, younger generation.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion that what you guys are doing here.
We appreciate it, brother.
Thank you, man.
We really
means a lot coming from you.
Definitely. Everybody else, thank you so much for tuning in today.
Everybody else, you appreciate it too?
We hope you appreciate it. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Today's episode will be up and running on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all major platforms mañana. The video format of this will probably be up on Wednesday and Thursday. Other than that, have a great week. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you guys all next week.
Thank you, guys.